Hello, Gemini. All right, we're going to try this again because I had a bomb-ass reading for y'all and it was not recording the whole entire time. So I'm probably going to get like paranoid several times throughout this reading, making sure I'm recording because I gave up on y'all. I did. I'm sorry to say that, but I did. I said, fuck it. We're moving on. All right, however, we're here. I've picked at this thing now 3 times already. All right, and let's get some things out of the way. Let's try to know that this reading specifically could offer universal justice if you're here for Gemini being in your sun rising and or Jupiter position. If you're looking for emotional redemption, you may utilize content that's over on my sister channel in the description box below. You can find a link to access it. There is, yes, more content coming. However, yes, every content is timeless, so please use your intuition to feel guided upon this journey of yours. In the description box below, you will also find access to inquire about any services that you may be of interest of having of mine, as well as just seeing if something that you are interested in that I provide. So check that out. If any difficulty, reach out via the email address to know I am Master Seventh, the one that performs these readings and these healing practices and all that jazz. All right, Gemini. Feminine, masculine energies are always non-gender specific, so feel free to feel bonded to however these energies feel bonded to you. Use discernment to take all of that which that is yours and leave the rest behind. And yada yada yada. I feel like I'm only addressing like a couple of y'all, but I am so appreciative of y'all, who are returning listeners to my channel. I am working graciously to get more content going for y'all. However, all of you may know that these energies are reaching deep parts of you, and they last a while once you've tapped into these energies. And when you do the work, you don't need content immediately. So this is part of the flow. All right, this is a flow that we're all embracing, and it now is starting to tie into your reading. Thank goodness, because it was really a beautiful reading. Your art was absolutely gorgeous. You're doing a lot of internal, I guess I should say, I've been forgetting that lately, and that this is a love variant reading, yada, yada, yada. The love may show up in any way that love wants to show up in a reading. Yes, it can be any type of way that it's either present or absent in your life, 1 or 2 people, or just the love that you have of yourself. That's why these energies are very deeply rooted oftentimes in these readings of mine. All right, it's universal justice at the end of the day, folks. All right, it's tough. It's tough. So the energies that you've been working on graciously within is an absolutely phenomenal dialogue to want to be nosy and hone in on of yours. It is a bit chaotic, yes, but it's also the chaos that's driving you to create. So it's not like it's in chaos, it's just chaotic. It's a lot going on, a lot of things that you want to do, a lot of things that you want to accomplish, a lot of things that you want to see and experience and just be immersed in. And at the same time, there's a loving forgiveness that you've ended up learning how to generate for yourself, so that way you're not so hard on yourself in getting these things done that seem to be a priority of yours. And you're looking at your priorities and allocating them wisely. And I suggest that if you're listening to readings outside of this reader of yours, Master Seventh, that you look at readings a little bit differently. Especially if you're following cards, I advise you to take the next few months to see that when any swords cards come up within a reading, that you symbolize them as pentacles for yourself, so you feel the energy within you a bit differently. That's for starters, and that's all I'm going to also say on that. For starters and for enders. Okay. What else? Yeah, you're just doing a lot of allocating your priorities and really sitting down with the energies that belong to you and run through you and or of you and all that jazz. Whatever labels they are, you're finding your identity through them. You know, you don't subscribe necessarily to the average Joe Schmo of dialogue of spirit guides, ancestors, archangels, all that jazz, you know. And that could be for many reasons that you are entitled to come up with. As I peek over, and we're still recording. And so ultimately, you're just, that's part of the amazing cultivation of the self-dialogue that you're having for yourself, that it's a bit chaotic going through this information of knowledge that you have perspired of it and like have come across with all these years, and making sense of it all, with then also appreciating now this, let's call it a spiritual journey for what it is. Okay, we're not saying we're all love and light here, especially not in these energies that I read, ladies and gentlemen, all this in between and beyond. We do not just honor love and light. Is absolutely a propaganda in and of itself. All right, light cannot exist without darkness. It is impossible. So whichever which way we are going to press and keep triggering that, triggering is then what we are then allowing ourselves to be then a bully of doing, because we want to get rid of these impurities to feel eternal peace and eternal longevity and eternal motion of the vibration that's available to us, feeling part of nature and all that it has attached to it, and feeling that that connection that we can fortify for ourselves is a connection that's worth exploration, and that it can bring a dialogue of a vaster existence for ourselves. And a lot of you embracing that, being in touch with nature and feeling her rhythms and dancing in her tongues and dancing in her drums and her colors, and really just putting your own dialogue to what it is that you're feeling. And that's exactly how impersonal this journey ought to be. Whatever label you use to authenticate yourself is just a way that you want to authenticate yourself. This part of the throat chakra of sustainability. It doesn't mean it doesn't also evolve. Okay, you can just evolve in many different ways using your throat chakra, and I will leave it at that. All right, so let's get into a bit of your reading here. Going back to your aura, it's gorgeous. All right, it's absolutely gorgeous. Aura changes at all times at any given moment. It's changing right now. What is happening though is the health of and the wellness of your aura. Is that no matter what kind of penalty comes, even if it feels really fucking bad to you, and like you feel yourself in like another bout of depression of some kind, or a loss of financial like something, or a relationship is just like not working out, your aura is like, girl, boy, him, he, shit, we got this. We got it. We got it. All right. And we're in the way of it. And meaning we're not in the way, like we are putting a wedge between something that's not in eternal flow. We are literally in the way with it. Okay. And that's exactly what we want to achieve. And the little ways that it feels in your breath, in your discomfort of your physical being, and the daunting awareness that life is difficult. Here, you know, that life is difficult. The daunting awareness, strength card, emotions. Yeah, we're gonna accept it all. We're gonna accept it all and allow it to feed the darkness that exists with the absence of light. That's how it gets. It's inertia. It's vortex. It's power. It's black box. Okay. And that's what we bring acknowledgement to, that is masculine energy. The fortifier of that is feminine energy. I am tired, y'all, of hearing everyone thinking of the high, mighty being a masculine energy. How it makes contact is of masculine doing, because it has to go somewhere to be able to access the location. However, to be able to do so is through feminine ways. Okay? All right, so this is going to take a long time, ladies and gentlemen, to convince billions and billions of people that the internal dialogue has to bit change, especially whatever the fuck femininity is and whatever the fuck masculinity is that's riveting through your body. And whoop-dee, look at that. Seems like we already have that general problem in society. All right, and I'm saying problem loosely. There's so many things that I want to say that are not human acknowledgement, but I'm not going to say it because I know that a lot of humans are listening to this. So I'm not going to trigger unnecessary things more so than already having triggered it now. The tower. The body is meant to feel a lot. Okay, the body is meant to undergo what, yes, and you say, in the sense this card represents your Page of Cups, loyalty. What are you loyal to? Are you loyal to creation? Then that is a constant movement. It never remains still. Never remains still. It never refuses to step into the light and accept darkness. Because without it, it doesn't understand how it is born. Light is an absolute need of darkness at any given time, at all acknowledgement of facets of at any given moment. It's just, it can't, it just can't. It can't exist any other way. To understand that type of loyalty is to not think about what your judgment of thought is going to try to need or require in order to believe it. It's to essentially fucking feel it. Like I said, it would make sense to look at your further readings from any other reader outside of this reading that pulls a sword card and turn it into pentacles for yourself. All right. Queen of Pentacles is here, stability. You need proof in the physical realm that you have a lot of groundedness already conquered for yourself. So that is a personal scavenger hunt that you should decide to go on, because this can help you elevate what you think you don't know now and bring reason to later, that later being aka tomorrow, whenever tomorrow is, so that your yesterday you won't be so anxious about, because that anxiety that's happening is part of not understanding that anxiety is a little bit different than anxiousness. Anxiety is not really knowing what, and anxiousness is knowing. And to kind of get a difference between the two is another way to learn how to gauge personal trauma, personal emotional traumas, physical traumas, spiritual traumas, and go to psychiatrists, counselors, and doctors, and to stand up for yourself and become aware of your own awareness. And that they also should maybe teach that in reverse, whether in self-transformational books, motivational speeches, to find a rhythm of a dance that you can accept with, dancing comfortably with, that is the power of your own doing. So we have the Eight of Swords, the anxiety. All right. I said the Swords card of any other reading outside of this reading. So not in this reading, it still is the Eight of Swords. Okay. The anxiety. And the reason why I'm doing this also is because I changed the game of tarot. This is not to toot some ego shit. This is just seeing a different realm that vibration exists in. Okay. And the Eight of Swords is proof to the pudding of what I've just said, all right? That you're questioning stability. You're questioning the difference between anxiousness and anxiety and panic, and knowing that you don't want any of them, and what identity can be formed behind it in the darkness, so that you can look at what's happening in the light, which is your anxiousness, your anxiety, your panic, and then assess them with different ways of mechanisms and coping skills. So that way the anxiety has now then been coerced with shadow aspects of maturity. Anxiety has been coerced with shadow aspects of maturity. And anxiousness or panic, whatever I haven't said yet, has been coerced with shadow aspects of the maturity of self. Getting that type of self is, I mean, just incredibly powerful. All right, so see where that can take you. Some of y'all are going to be completely astounded that all of a sudden, like, some medical mystery is going to occur. Like, the good. Like, all of a sudden, you don't have an autoimmune deficiency. Like, you're going to be like, what? How the fuck? Like, it's going to be for someone out there. For someone's reality is going to be like, what the fuck? Yeah, and then that internal dialogue is going to ping so loud into the eternal all that it's like, person over there just woke up a different way. They just found out that they're actually quote unquote alien body. They're sentient. Cool. Welcome to the club. Kind of a conversation, no? Fun games, y'all. Fun games. Some of y'all are like, what the fuck is she talking about? Yeah, well, then it's just not your message, I guess, huh? At the same time, you're still here curious as the little kitty right here, that little lion. I mean, it's just saying, some of y'all have some Leo energy, some of you have an ego problem, some of you just are too lovey-dovey in codependency of needing a relationship to not yet maybe just yet see what the fuck I'm talking about. However, let's not mistaken here, the tower is still here. So if you don't see it now, I'm pretty sure you will. You will. You're gonna see it in the mind's eye happening somehow, some way. I said mind's eye. You will see it happen in the mind's eye somehow, some way. Whether it's reading a book, whether it's watching a show, whether it's sleeping, meditating, working, scrubbing the toilet, taking a shower, taking a shit. I don't know. Something will come in your mind's eye. It's going to be like, what the fuck? Even if it's an external thing of like going to the medical office and getting a test result and waiting for it or whatever, and like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Everyone needs a good what the fuck, right? And the Ace of Wands is coming. The new beginning is coming. And you're going to wait for this, and you're going to wait and wait. And the more you wait for it, the more you're going to actually antagonize the shadow aspects that's in the light, the anxiety, the anxiousness, and the panic, and forgo the shadow aspect of the darkness that is actually feeding the shadow aspects of the light, which is your panic, your anxiousness, and anxiety. So then the explosion comes, and you're like, what? The release. Often when you talk of such release, it sounds daunting. It sounds scary. It sounds like, I don't want that shit. I don't want that earthquake. I don't want it. Mother Earth is like, listen, it's not about what y'all want. It's what I can handle. She can handle a lot more than we can as human flesh. And we prove that over and over and over again. Right? She wins. We lose. So she's giving us the power to feel as much as she can possibly give us to feel in her power. Feel how naturally it sounds and feels when we say she. Because it's a vibrating force, not a him, a stoppage, an anchoring, a committed focus point. Yeah, okay, it's never direct. It's never direct. We can all come to that consensus that it's never direct. Who's in charge of that? The moon, the misinterpretations, the way we see things, the way we have opinions, the way we alter and falter with our ego, our emotions, the not knowing the known, the battle of who's God, who's goddesses, who is a prophet, who's a fake prophet, who's the real, who's the real, not real. Like, there's so many nuanced ways to be like, whoa, this game is crazy. Crazy. There's so many switch ups. There's so many possibilities. I mean, the list goes on, and there's no manual for this shit. Well, that's part of the way that we would want to feel continuously sovereign, that there is never and could never be a manual. However, there are many people in the way of trying to make life a manual, and that's what we need to get out of the way so that we can remain in the way. It's truly actually nothing funny around here. And how serious these energies actually impact the lives of many people, because we all feel and we all want to feel existential and part of something. And to reach that is not anything short of just smelling, touching, hearing, listening, seeing, the basic senses. And when we do things that rob us from that, we slowly disintegrate ourselves as fulfilling the aspect of what it means to live with a sensory aspect of a human life. All, of course, for interpretation. I mean, this is just whatever the fuck you want. Gemini and cross watchers. Shit just got real. We have the Hierophants. The Ace of Cups. All right. And the King of Wands. Makes sense, no? Wanting to research, recalibrate, teach, because a lot of you understand this message. Some of y'all have not clicked out. Some of you are not angry. Some of you are moved. And some of you are moved by the anger that has reached you, because you understand, oh, what the fuck? That's good anger. Oh yeah, there is such a thing as good anger. All right, good anger. We're going to use that. We're going to do something with it. We're going to do something. We're going to discipline the shit out of it so it harms nobody, none ourselves, and none anyone else. No one else, and not ourselves. I can't even speak anymore. It's power, or we need that power. It comes from you. It is of you. It has to navigate somewhere. So some of you are learning how to transform yourselves into, let's say, better people by taking it easy, taking a break, committing yourselves to loyalty to yourself and others, revolutionizing yourself in emotional, sustainable relationships, first and foremost, seeking them out with vitality, and maintaining them with vitality as such, but not doing it in an overbearing manner. Just enough. Not too much fire to make the water feel like it's turning into mist, and not too much water to the fire so that it can no longer burn. Just enough. And the King of Wands is eager to play, is eager to learn, is eager to become this Hierophant. And that's nice. 5 is also the energy of chaos. So when I said earlier in the reading that there is a chaotic world happening within, you're learning how to balance that chaos within. Beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Page of Wands. The king is excited to learn, and he, she, it, them, they will learn. learning right now, growing right now, changing. It's fascinating. All right, Gemini, that is all that I have for you. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. I'm glad it recorded. I hope you enjoy it, whatever that even means. And may you have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. Take care.